Welcome back to the Tide Deer Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the G.I. Joe Haslab Classified Snowcat. And I got to say that I'm on the fence. I've been telling people I'm out. Because truly, I probably should be. But it is definitely a decent, solid offering for what it is. And I'm going to tell you my own hangups on it as we go through this. But I think that they did a great job with it. The $325 price point, the value is there, and with that, there's some stuff in this you're going to get that you won't get any other way. There'll be no other way to get it, so we will talk about all of that, but let's get into talking about this. I'm officially on the fence. There's a possibility I still back it, but I kind of look at where I'm going to put my funds, and it's going to Mask. It's just ironic, the Haslab Snowcat and the bundle deal to get pretty much everything, including the SDCC exclusive at BBTS for the Mask loyal subjects, is the same price. We'll talk about this and more. I did order this, guys. I broke down and ordered it. Let's talk about this more coming up. All right, so let's look at this project. This is a little older picture. I think we're at 6,062 backers as we speak, but it does kind of show what's going on here. $325 for this, and as you can see, if nothing unlocks, no tiers unlock, then this is all you get. But I do feel we'll unlock every tier. When I say we, you all will unlock every tier. We have yet to see a Haslab, G.I. Joe Classified Haslab, not unlock every tier. Now the O-ring ones, the Sky Striker, you know, is it the 8th? I think somebody said it's the 11th. The 11th version of Sky Striker that they put up as a Haslab did not unlock every tier. So this is what you would get from this if you unlocked every tier. Now, some people were telling me that the bivouac that they're making, and I keep getting corrected on how to say it, and I keep forgetting how to say it, so bivouac. I have 3 of them from a friend of mine's collection, and it's alright, but I don't do anything with them. Now they're in a bag. So, like, to me, it's not a big deal. But I hear some people make them, I think it's Marauder or something, maybe makes them, it's like $100. And so, is it a truly $100 value? Maybe it's only a $50 perceived value, but still, it's a value to this set. And I don't see them releasing this separately in any other way, shape, or form. And I think this is smart, because I think the bivouac sucks. I don't like it. I didn't have it as a kid. I have no attachment to it. But some people do. Yeah, some people do. And then the other 3 unlocks down there. So you add all this up. 3 figures are $75. Bivouac for $50, so like $125. So that makes the actual Snowcat $200. And we're pretty sure that will unlock all the tiers. So at the end of the day, the price is right, and when the price is right, that's what sucks me in. Plus, I already re-upped my poll, so I get free shipping, and I don't have to pay whatever this $39 or $69, whatever the crazy service charge that they add and take off. I won't know about that till I check out, if I actually buy it, but I'm still on the fence. You know, I kind of wondered, why should I even make this video and talk about this Haslab, because probably 15, 30 people have already made one. But these are my thoughts as someone who's covered every Haslab since the Cell Barge, and about 5 Cell Barges. So, I mean, just a little history there. And I usually buy at least 2 of every Haslab, Unicron, and all that kind of stuff. But I've been backing off Haslabs lately, and I don't touch any of the Transformers, Haslabs past Unicron. I don't touch Marvel. And I've slowed on this. I have been up on every Joe one. This is the only one I'm thinking about passing on, even though it's a good offering. Now, we do have unlocked tiers. 10,000, you get a Lady J in the Arctic gear. At 12,000 backers, you get the bivouac battle station. I'm sure I say it wrong, but Flint in Arctic gear is at 14,000. 14,000. Usually these things crack 25,000, no problem, by the end of the 44 days or something. Let's start with tier 1. Speeding the Myriad Handed. Is that what that says? Okay. So Lady J in her Arctic gear with all her stuff. I have to say this. This is a mixed bag. First off, everyone loves Lady J. On the other hand, Lady J was sitting for like $5 at places. So was it a Ross or Ollie's or something kind of deal where they were $5? So the standard Lady J was not selling very well for whatever reason, although it was a good figure. And then they put out the retro Lady J, and then that one sat at clearance. I got a couple of those for $5. So the perception of the value of this thing is probably low, but it's really weird too because this is an alternate version. You'll not get another version of this. People will be selling this on eBay with no problem for $50 just because it's a variant. But I think it looks good. I think it's cool. Somebody also brought up a point that if down the road they want to bring out other characters like Roadblock in this snow gear, that I think it was Shark Artist. Just call him Shark. He brought that up, and that was a good point. That, but I would get Roadblock no matter what. So I mean, Roadblock is top tier, super top tier. Okay, speaking of tier 2 is the Fierce Artificer's Curve. His white bastions with projected roof. So we got the bivouac here. I tried to make sense of it as an adult, looking back on it, and it was okay. It's got a cot and stuff. They can take a nap, but truly, this is actually a very good display piece. If you think back about it, it's not fun to play with the bivouac. It's fun to use it as a display piece. Maybe someone's taking a nap, a couple people are standing around talking, sitting around the campfire. So this is actually a good piece for a collector line, and it's something that maybe a couple years down the road, I'd wish I would have picked it up, which is one of the reasons it puts me on the fence. Although I don't like the vintage one, this is interesting. Then, of course, you can't have Lady J without Flint, and Flint looks good. A pretty good one overall, but I gotta say they come up with some weird stuff. A frying pan, eggs, sausage. This is kind of fun. This is fun to do the bratwurst that they're cooking with the sticks and all of that, and they can sit around the campfire. The bivouac. And it's interesting too, because they don't give you this before the bivouac. You got to unlock the bivouac to get this. So that's still kind of fun. But at the end of the day, if I had none of these and they came out with a Roadblock in Arctic gear, I'm still getting Roadblock in Arctic gear. Nothing stopping that. So what does this thing do? Well, it does light up on the inside. They got the lights, all that good stuff. It's a beast. We'll see the size comparison in a little bit. And like always, that looks pretty good. You have a tapering turret overtops the work. I don't know who came up with these titles on this stuff. I don't know, but it's kind of cool. You can put on the trail. So it's these trail fire effects to put them and insert them into this. That's a good idea there too. Very similar to the vintage one, yet improved. Hopefully those little tabs don't break on us. And the only thing really, when we get to more pictures of it, the canopy is one of the downsides to me. You have these opening compartments that hold the missiles. So instead of the missiles just chilling there, and I bet there's a way you could do it where you could remove the compartment and put the missiles there to make it look more retro. I'm just pretty sure there is, and if there's not, you can make it happen in some way, shape, or form. But with that, you can also use the sled that the missile is on to put a figure on the sled and do a little kind of like snowboard thing going on with it. Now here's how this stuff kind of shapes up. Nor shapes of men nor beasts we kin. Okay, this is I'm not in for the poetry. I'm in for the Joes. And so with that, you could just set those sleds with the missiles right there. You can actually remove the launcher from the back and the base and make it into a troop transport where figures could stand there. More figures could stand on the end. And they say it could possibly display and hold up to 10 figures, which is really good, actually. Which is enticing. So this thing is actually quite a beast. There's other weird little gimmicks like this ice tray, and you can put these cups that are going to be included with the figures in their cup holders, and questions about cup holders in the driver's seat, I don't know. But the ice was here, the ice was there, and are we going to see any like elements in this from the first 5 episodes. I don't know. How big is the beast? And so this is where I kind of feel like they made it a little bigger than I would have wanted. But at the end of the day, they have to make it big enough to accommodate the figures, and they have to make it correctly scaled. But I feel, just my feels is it's 20 to 25% bigger than I would have expected. And I would have liked it a little smaller. Actually, I would have loved it if they could have made it small enough to fit in the like $100 to $125 price point and be more like the Stinger. But anyway, that's not what happened with this. And with that, it's going to be $325. It's a beast. It does have a lot more plastic than what we're getting, or what we already got, with the His Tank. I do feel the His Tank is a bit more iconic, but this is also iconic, and it's a lot of fun. Let's take a look at this thing from a couple different angles. Here's the back. It's got some hooks on the back there, and you can fold up that back end, or you can fold it down into a ramp, and it looks pretty good. A little color variation, nice lights on it. Overall, it's a pretty solid offering. And it does have, I guess it's working treads, adjustable, ratcheted, whatever this is. So it can do that. That's great. That's fun. For display options, of course. Opening interior panels, like they always do, like they did in the Vintage line. They got to carry this on, right? They got to show you some intricate detail on the inside, but this is also painted. In the Vintage line, it never really was painted. And then it holds some tooling in there, stuff like that. And then here it is, and let's go ahead and do a reverse inverse osmosis picture of what it would look like versus the Vintage line. And the Vintage one, it has its charm. It does make more sense in reality that the canopy has a metal frame and glass connecting. That makes more sense in reality than just a giant piece of glass shaped like the Vintage one. So that makes more sense. I understand why they went that route, but it is a turnoff. I will say that. It is a turnoff in a way. But at the same time, people collecting classified want reality, realism. If Super 7 was making it in the Ultimates line, it looked just like the Vintage one, and it would have all of the, well, it would have a similar canopy. And with that, it is what it is. So this seems like more of something that would exist in reality versus what we got in the Vintage toy line. And that alone is not a deal breaker for me, but it is one of those things. I was hoping it was a little more classic, but you could do things to it, like pull out the little sleds and the missiles to make it more classic. But there it is, side by side with the classic. Here's a closer up view of it with the back down, and it looks great. You can open up those seats in the rear to store weapons, accessories, and all that kind of stuff. Probably not something most people would do, but it's nice that it's there. I would probably use it to store weapons, accessories, and stuff that came with the figures that were with this, like the hot dogs, the skewers, and all that. Would probably be a good place to put that, not like Duke's gun as Duke is out doing something else. No, probably stuff that just came with Haslab, stow it away in there. That's probably what I would do with it. That would make a lot more sense, but also would make dollars. Alright, so it needs to get 8,000 to be funded. It has 6,062. It'll be funded very quickly. Will it hit 14,000? Yeah, I'm fairly certain it will. I just can't see it not. I actually can't see it not hitting 20,000. Now, there are some reasons why I feel this is one of the slower ones for G.I. Joe Classified. Number one, people are probably financially exhausted from collecting. And number two, people have dropped out of collecting for a lot of reasons. Number three, it's people that bought multiples of this to try to unload it did not double their money. Haslabs don't double your money anymore. In fact, after selling fees on eBay and all this stuff shipping, you end up breaking even, maybe make 50 to 100 bucks. So it's not really worth flipping these. So people buying 5 at once is slowing down. People might buy, that bought 5 might buy 2. People that buy 3 might only buy 1. And people that bought 1 might pass. So some of that is being factored in as issues with it. But at the same time, this is, relative to all other Haslabs, a solid offering. And as the stats on my channel show, I have more people watching my channel for Mask than for G.I. Joe, even though I did complete almost 100% of the toy line, the figure line last year, and showcase everything made. Mask still dominates to the nth degree. Well, actually, times about 500, but it is something that I think is a sleeping dragon of a toy line. And I'm hearing some stuff. JC at TNI News says that BBTS is almost sold out of these. We'll start seeing sold outs popping up soon, is what he says. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of the word on the street from JC, and we'll see how that goes. I wouldn't fret because these will be available at other retailers in September, but they might not ship as fast. I think BBTS will get it to you quicker if you're interested in it, and you will not get the exclusive. Now, this bundle has all this in there, including the SDCC exclusive that's originally was going to be priced $150. Now it's priced $175, but you get $35 off buying the bundle. I caved and got it because I love Mask that much. I really like Mask. I have all this stuff at the finish line, but I got it. But I knew if I spent this much money on Mask, I would want to pass on the other one. But see, we still got 44 days, so these won't really hit in, well, they'll hit in different months, I think, but at the same time, it's still quite a bit of money. At the end of the day, what are your priorities? What are your collecting priorities? Let me know what you think about this. Are you in? Are you out? Because I'm still on the fence. Like, actually, some of the comments might push me over the fence. That is just the way YouTube works. That's the way I work. That's the way I operate. Some things I buy no matter what. Some things I'm out no matter what. This, I've been swaying back and forth on the fence. There's a lot going on right now. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. So like and subscribe. And please, Brian Flynn, keep Super 7 Ultimates G.I. Joe going. Tiger Manger out.